I want to talk about the fact that we had a holiday movie champion. Welcome, Tej. I tell you what, is it okay? Can you hear me okay? Or is it very echoey? Is it echoey or can you hear me? TJ,
I hear you.
you hear me? Okay. Traveling and doing these spaces, I am committed, honey. So, thank you, Tej. I think we got to start talking about why people had a problem with our brackets, the fact that Home Alone won. I think your top two, I think one of yours made it to the finals, correct? Because you had a top two. Now, a lot of the conversation around the holiday movie madness when we put out the 16 playoff bracket was very interesting. Because a lot of people were like, where's this movie? Where's this movie? Where's this movie? Where's this movie? And then I said, well, is it in your top two? And they were like, well, you know, and then there's hesitation. So I loved it. That was the purpose of this bracket, was for us to really tap in and see how people really felt, because I didn't ask your top five or the movies you liked. I asked for your top two holiday movies. And so it kind of quelled some anxieties around the bracket. Hi, Diner. Come on up. Don't be shy. Happy holidays. Welcome to What We Watch Friday. Tej, why do you think Home Alone beat Die Hard in the finals?
So Home Alone won. I thought Die Hard won.
Home Alone won, baby, by a mile. That's why we're here.
Well, I hate that. Home Alone's more accessible. Obviously, it's a kids movie, so like a lot more people could see Die Hard at an earlier age. So that doesn't surprise me. But Die Hard is a better movie. But Home Alone has that classic Universal. It's kind of got everything. It's a family movie. I mean, Die Hard's also a family movie, but in a much different way. So I can see that. That makes sense.
What what makes Die Hard less of a family movie than Home Alone?
I don't think it's less of a family movie, but it's more of a family watch. Like who could watch the movie because Die
Mm.
Hard's obviously with violence in it. Although it's pretty sanitized, it's not like the bloodiest movie, especially compared to the stuff that we see today. But it is still a rated R movie that has a lot of violence in it. So it's not something you necessarily curl up with your 7 year old, unless your parents were like mine, in which case we watch everything. So I watched Die Hard at around the same age I watched Home Alone, but that doesn't mean that that's the case for everybody's family. So I think that probably creates the difference in terms of, something like a Christmas movie. It's about tradition. There's some movies you see and you take with you and you bring them back around this time of year, which is kind of how we started the bracket in the first place. And Home Alone appeals to more people just because it's not a rated R action movie.
Do you remember your top two?
My top two both made it to the final four. My top two were Die Hard and Friday After Next.
Okay, okay. Diner in the chat. What were your top two, and did they make it to even the final four? Because mine did not, and it was very infuriating.
Well, yeah, mine was Bad Santa, which unfortunately took out your number one in the
Yeah.
first round. I believe it lost in the next round though, and then I had Miracle on 34th Street, which didn't even make the bracket. So, but I sort of went with. I mean, I watch Bad Santa every year on Christmas Eve. I can't remember how old I was the first time I watched it. I was probably 15 or 16, so it definitely doesn't have the universal appeal that the movies that made it further did. So I'm not surprised it didn't make it. I'm surprised it even won in the first round, to be honest. And
Yeah.
then the classics
That was
weren't
a
performing
mistake.
well anyway. So even if Miracle on 34th Street had made the bracket, I wouldn't have expected it to do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I was
I,
kind. I mean, I'm not. I wasn't disappointed in the final, but
right.
it seemed so predictable. I guess I was just hoping for like a little bit of a surprise somewhere, which we got
Yeah.
some of in the earlier rounds. And
Yeah.
I'm not like a Home Alone hater, but for whatever reason, Home Alone never stuck with me the
Really?
way other Christmas movies did that I watched when I was a kid. So yeah, I kept voting against Home Alone in all the rounds and Home Alone 2, but to no avail.
definitely wanted Die Hard to lose so TJ could suffer. Uh, I didn't want TJ to win so much because the fact that Die Hard made it to the
It's
championship
ridiculous.
was a little bit weird to me because, like you said, Tej, and thank you for bringing it up, it's a rated R movie. So is the movie that beat Nightmare Before Christmas. So in the same breath, Home Alone beat Die Hard for the criteria that you were talking about. That first round, those first 8 games, it was not that. It was very much nostalgia, rated R, comedy, funny, what I remember as an adult, and I had a problem with that. I had a problem with that.
I told you that Die Hard should have been the 1 seed, and then Nightmare Before Christmas would have not gotten knocked out in the first round, but you didn't listen.
I know, and that's what I get for cheating. But I didn't really cheat. I mean, I cheated, but we Nightmare Before Christmas got enough votes. It wasn't clear if it was the first, but it was definitely going to be in the playoffs. Now I think it was definitely going to be seated top 2 or top 3 as well. My thing is, we did. I agree with you, Diner, in the chat. We got to a point where we did all of that just to end up with the Die Hard and Home Alones of the world, which, fine. We let the internet decide. Y'all said we're letting the internet decide. If it was up to me, my top two didn't even make it to the final four. It was Nightmare Before Christmas and The Holiday. I got a lot of support in the DMs and a lot of support personally on my page for Nightmare Before Christmas, so that made me feel a little bit better. But I just want y'all to know Nightmare Before Christmas lost by 1 point. So a lot of people that fiend upset about their movies missing don't even watch the movie every holiday or throughout the year, which is one of my criteria for making the playoffs, as you remember. And secondly, they couldn't even tell me that it was their top two. They were just like, oh no, it's just a good movie, it's just a good holiday movie. And I'm like, that's not the criteria to make the playoffs. Teams that are good don't make the playoffs unless it's like a six. We got some good movies in there. We're talking about great playoff teams, movies. So I was very excited about that. I'm gonna tell you one thing about Home Alone because this is what we watch. Happy What We Watch Friday, whatever day it is. Time is a social construct. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I Home Alone did stick with me, Diner in the chat, but not because it was a good movie. It stuck with me because I had the biggest crush on Macaulay Culkin. Now, I shared this with very few people, TJ being one of the most recent people, and I was shamed to no end. Then I shared it with my best friend, Joy, and she was like, girl, all of us did. And I was like, okay, this feels better. He had big, juicy lips, all right, and young Mo had never seen nobody no white person specifically, with no big, juicy lips like Macaulay Culkin, okay? Just hang out with me here. So I watched every Home Alone, just absolutely enamored by the way this man looked. And then look, the beauty queen, Kim Kardashian, the epitome of beauty in this space for whatever reason, beautiful girl, beautiful gowns, had him in her Santa Baby remake. Okay? I know ball, all right? Macaulay Culkin is kind of hot. Angela, I fear letting you speak after I just shared that, but I'm okay with Home Alone winning because that gave birth to Monique's very first celebrity crush. So that's all I have to say. Welcome to What We Watch. Angela, talk to us.
Um, as someone who gets made fun of a lot because, they find maybe one or two Caucasian men attractive,
Right.
I'm genuinely shocked that you just said that because I've never thought he was cute.
You know,
Maybe
y'all,
like maybe like the one in the third
Even
movie.
Angela not joining you on this take.
this
That
is
shows you how
crazy,
crazy you are.
Angela.
Angela
Angela,
loves
I
them
need,
white men.
Angela, I needed you with me here today, bro.
Alex Lynn's like from the third one is was cute, but not
You never.
um
He has some big juicy lips. You ain't feel that?
no not at
Please stop
all.
using that phrase.
He had big juicy lips. What's the problem? I'm not talking about him now as a child. I was a little bit younger than him, and it was the same thing. And now he got some juicy lips. All right, you're right. This sounds a
Please
little.
stop saying.
Can we all admit that people don't be having juicy lips like that? And they were pink too. All right. All I'm saying is that the bracket went kind of crazy. Angela, how did you feel about the bracket?
You know that meme where the guy's like, black people, I
Mm.
feel that way because I don't know what's y'all's attachment to Friday After Next. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a
Hold
good
on.
movie. It's okay.
Let me check my. Okay. What were the quotables in these movies? I should have asked y'all to quote one powerful, standing, ongoing quote from all of your top two movies.
You're
Because
just making new criteria. That wasn't in the criteria. That
I just admitted that it wasn't, but it should have been. Because if you can't even name the quotes, name a Die Hard quote that you like. And don't give me the normal one. But what's a Die Hard quote that you
I
like? And
know Die Hard by heart, and I just watched it like 2 days ago, so this is a bad
what's
question.
a memorable quote that we all
Well,
may
he
remember?
says "Yippee ki motherfucker," which is great.
Okay, okay. And what was your other one? Friday After Next? Give me one for
Friday
that.
After Next. Well, I can quote that whole entire movie. Come on, that movie is nothing but a long quotable.
Thank you. I think that's why it made to the playoffs, Angela. You got quotables, you got
Is
comedy,
Angela hating on black cinema? Like, I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked that she came in here to hate on black cinema.
but you can either hate on black cinema, Angela, or you can hate on me like a Macaulay Culkin. You can't do both.
Yeah,
Which
I
was
agree with that actually.
Is Friday After Next good, or do you guys just really love
It's
Cat
literally
Williams?
amazing.
I don't
it's
see.
It's not even the best or second best or probably even third best Friday movie, but
that's
it
incorrect.
is fucking hilarious.
Okay, hold on. Now we got to rank the Friday. No, I disagree. It's definitely the second. Well,
Okay,
okay,
I can give you second best.
second or
I'm fine
third?
with it being second or third best, just not best.
Yes. How many Friday movies are there? Four?
Three.
There's three. Okay, well, third is last. All right, but that just means
Well, they're
that
all hilarious. They're all
that's what I'm
great.
saying.
They're
They're all
just
just
different.
fantastic. Okay, what movies would y'all have liked to see in the bracket that didn't make it to the bracket? Were there
Someone
any?
brought up Four Brothers, which I didn't think about as a Christmas movie.
I don't.
I don't know if it would have made my list, but it is a good movie. Also, Goodfellas. Goodfellas is also a Christmas movie,
That's fair. Goodfellas is a really great movie. I'm gonna share the
and it's
criteria.
great. So I would have liked Goodfellas on the list, but I forgot. I always forget that Goodfellas is indeed a Christmas movie. But I'm about to add that to my Christmas movie rotation because it's just an incredible film.
Sherrod, don't be shy. Come on up to the stage. Diner, what was missing from our bracket? Because I think you kind of shared it. You were really vocal during the playoffs about what wasn't in there.
Yeah, well, I was actually also going to say Goodfellas, and one movie we didn't even mention
Mm,
um, last time, and I'm not saying it should have been in the bracket, but we probably should have mentioned it since it got nominated for a bunch of Oscars last year. Was the Holdovers,
yes. Now, did
which
y'all
is a
watch that
great,
movie?
great movie with some heartfelt moments. Paul Giamatti's great.
Oh no, the lights are.
Um,
That's a really great answer. I didn't think
The
so
lights.
recent, and I actually somebody asked me directly, "Have you seen any of the recent Christmas movies that like really did a number on you?" And I said no, but I totally disagree with that now because I forgot all about the holdovers, which I thought was great.
The
yeah,
Holdovers is good. It is also a Christmas movie, and that's what we were talking about. Remember, Teach, we brought up the fact that like a lot of these movies did not come out in the last like 10 years. So a little bit of the
Yeah,
bracket was, to your point, Christmas is a tradition, obviously. So nostalgia is a lot of what drove people to vote for their favorite movies, was like nostalgia, and we haven't really created parts in our lives that stay with us with the holdovers. I even forgot I watched that movie and I really did enjoy that movie. For me, I was shocked that The Grinch didn't make it. Because I think The Grinch kind of hit pretty hard. Did y'all enjoy The Grinch when it came out? Like, The
when you
Grinch
say
is
the
hard.
Grinch, you mean the Jim Carrey one, right?
Yes, The Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch. I'm young. Just
Yes, I was a bit surprised. I actually did watch that this year. I probably hadn't seen it since I was a teenager, and it holds up really well. But I also am I mean, I love Jim Carrey. Like I'm a big fan of a lot of Jim Carrey movies, so the movie really works for me.
I don't. Can you name a Jim Carrey movie that you don't like? I don't think I can.
Oh, there are plenty I don't like, but
No, I like
the
all of them.
Sonic movies.
I've
Okay,
never seen those, but I heard they were great.
I heard great things about the Sonic movie.
People like them. I tried watching the first one. I was not a fan, but it's just me.
I'm not a big
I
fan of
like.
like Man on the Moon. There are Jim Carrey movies I don't like, but there are very few Jim Carrey movies I don't like because even when he's in a movie that's not quote unquote good, I usually I am a great appreciator of the work of Jim Carrey. So The Grinch really holds up for me.
Another specific criticism of the bracket for people that were not there from the beginning was there wasn't enough black cinema. So I was at a kickback the other day, and
Friday After Next made it to the final four. Nobody expected that. That was incredible.
yeah, someone called it early too, and they tweeted us. They're like, "Oh, Friday After Next is gonna have being a little upset." My thing is, there. If you guys go look right now on the internet, you could type in like top black Christmas movies, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of them are kind of mid. And I love black cinema.
That's not fair.
I also don't think, and not to say that the non-black cinema is better. I also don't think that the definition of black cinema is very clear. I think if there's like one black person in the movie, it's like it's black cinema, or at least two leads or whatever. And like I don't like that. Just because there are black like people in the movie doesn't mean it's black cinema. A lot of black cinema was directed by white people, which is like black actors in it, and I don't think that makes it a black movie. So I don't know. There was some criticism on that. But if you go through the black cinema, and I'm sorry, let me be clear, holiday films. TJ, name five great black holiday films. Preacher's Wife, Friday After Next,
The Last Holiday. I
The
did like
Last
the
Holiday.
what's the Jingle Jangle one? The one that came out on Netflix 4 or 5 years ago.
That
That
was
was it was I remember liking it. I've never rewatched it, but I remember liking it.
that's not a great movie. You can't say you didn't.
Okay.
It's not great.
We already said Friday After Next. Um, what
I don't.
else?
I, this Christmas was not good. We have to be honest about that.
Which
This
one's
Christmas,
this Christmas?
the one with Chris Brown, bro, it wasn't good.
Oh no, I agree, I agree, I agree.
It's just a movie, guys. We're not talking about like movies you watch during the holidays. So, anyways, I shared the criteria. The movie takes place between the standard Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. Okay. Number two, as you guys can see, someone references or the movie includes in the soundtrack a holiday song. Okay, right? Die Hard, right? Home Alone. The third thing that I think kicks a lot of films out, which people didn't really appreciate, was the Santa hat. If there's not a Santa hat in the movie, it is not a Christmas movie. Because someone tried to tell me that Sister Act is a holiday or Christmas movie, and I disagree fully. Do y'all think Sister Act is a holiday Christmas movie?
Yes.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It doesn't follow the three criteria. It doesn't even have a Santa hat. Every movie in our bracket has a Santa hat in it. People have are so mad that we put Mean Girls as a holiday movie. That is a holiday movie. We got music, we got Santa hats, we got performances, and things happen between Thanksgiving and New Year's. That's a holiday movie. You know what I mean? I want to also talk about so we can wrap the space up before we go because it is the end of the year. This is the last What We Watch space of 2024. We've been going strong for 4 years. TJ, talk to us about what you've really enjoyed this year in film or television. Like, how are you feeling about 2024, especially compared to 2023? And what kind of TV shows have we been experiencing? Because I feel like you have a lot to say about the close of 2024.
Oh, this is funny. I actually just finalized my top five movie list, which I put out on my podcast, One Take Pod. And I realized as I was making my short list that I had a short list that was 15 movies of movies I considered to be in my top 15. So I think it's been a very fun movie year. I'm just now getting into Oscars mode. I've seen five of the what people think are going to be the 10 best pictures and a couple of the ones that are just on the outside. So I'm kind of halfway there in my Oscar study. Going to see a lot of stuff in the next couple of weeks. But I think it's been a very fun movie year. In terms of TV, I was actually just recapping some TV today, and you and I were just talking about TV. My biggest TV take this year was one. We had a star that was born on Shogun, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. She is just NSY is just
Anna,
phenomenal. She had a star
Anna.
making performance. And my second big movie TV take of the year was that we were too hard on House of the Dragon 2. Although it did have its issues, I think we were way too hard on it. And I remember that experience fondly, and I had a great time watching it for those 8 weeks. We had The Penguin, which was a breakout hit, and then some of our favorite shows didn't give us the best seasons. The Bear people were up and down on that season. The Boys, this was definitely their worst season. And I think that we still got a pretty good season of
Invincible.
Invincible, but the mid-season break kind of killed the online dialogue momentum of it. So it's been a good TV year. you get something like the Penguin, which is totally unexpected. That's always a great lift up because when they first announced that, all of us probably rolled our eyes and said, "This is going to be like I'm not into this. Like, why would I care watch a show about the Penguin? Why would I care about the Penguin?" And they gave us another star-making performance in that show from Kristen Milotti, who is a star. That's another star-making performance that we got on TV this year. So I think it's been a solid year of TV. I think the movie year has been slightly better, but I'm overall happy with both of them. What about you?
Name two movies that you like, and y'all go ahead and listen to One Take Pod, Tej, and two other very
Well,
wonderfully annoying men talk about movies all the time, and I'm on there. I'm
My
probably
top five.
your most
What?
repeated guest, correct? I'm always on there, so
Yes,
listen to
very
One Take
true.
Pod. Those of you at What We Watch, go ahead.
I'm gonna give you some movies that did not make my top five. That when I walked out of the movie theater, I definitely was like, "This is going to be in my top five this year."
Okay, okay.
Um, uh, First of all, Twisters. I had the most fun in the whole world at Twisters. I don't think anyone in America had more fun at Twisters than me. I just had a great fucking time. Now, I will admit that I watched it in 4DX, so that added to my experience. But the movie itself, I just thought the vibes were so high, and I had such a good time. I when I walked out of Twisters, I was like, "That's going to be in my top five." It did not make my top five, but that's a movie that I greatly enjoyed. Also, The Substance might have been my favorite movie going experience of the year. In terms of that last 20 to 25 minutes of The Substance, had the crowd rowdier than anything I saw this year. The crowd, like watching that in a movie theater was very rewarding because of how fucking insane the last act of that movie is, and watching that with other people just made the experience so much better. And I definitely thought that was going to be a top 10 movie before I walked out of the movie theater. But because it's been such a strong year, it's not on my top five, but it barely missed my top five. And lastly, I would say Alien Romulus. Not that I thought that was going to be in my top five, but that was also a there are parts in the middle of that movie where I was having a ton of fun in the movie theater. So it was a fun year to be in the movie theaters for sure. Those are movies that didn't make my top five, but those are movies that I greatly enjoyed and really appreciated. But the highest I've probably felt in the movie theater this year is probably the first 20 to 25 minutes of Long Legs, which I think
Oh,
is quite
brother.
literally pitch perfect. I don't think that it sticks to landing, but that first half hour of Long Legs, I was levitating. I thought we were doing something we had never done before. I thought we were
Blair
on another level.
Underwood. Blair
It
Underwood
didn't.
is a god, so yeah.
True. It doesn't actually work for me in the end. But that first 30 minutes, my heart was beating very fast. I thought we were about to do something amazing and something we've never seen before. But I will appreciate that 30 minutes, even though the whole film
Brother.
doesn't really work for me.
We're going to talk about Neon in a little bit. Angela, talk to us. Thank you, Tej, for sharing.
So I was traveling a lot for work this year, so I feel like I didn't really see as many movies in the theaters as I'd
Sure.
like to. But I think
Like
with
my pain.
TV, I don't know. I don't want to say back because I don't know like if that's like the appropriate thing to say, but like the fact that like we are starting to get like seasons of television every year again is like
Yeah,
kind
turn
of
that
like
up.
I'm really excited for like we get Invincible next year. We get like I think it's like I think it kind of started with Abbott Elementary, which kind of sounds crazy because Abbott Elementary has been giving us like Abbott Elementary is ABC's new sitcom. Like I feel like every few years ABC has like a sitcom. It's like they're like we saw with like Modern Family, right? It's
Yep.
like ABC's that. And so
Yep.
like
Yep.
um Abbott Elementary, phenomenal TV. Next year we get Gen V, which I'm really, really excited about. I was not The Boys was like, I don't know. I was like literally like tweeting about it. I don't know what Seth Rogen's deal is, and I love Seth Rogen, but I'm like, bro, everything attached to your name does not have to have like a nasty sex scene or something nasty that's sexual. Even like the
He
Teenage
fully
Mutant
disagrees. He
like
fully disagrees.
even like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I thought was a great movie, I'm like, oh, milking. Okay, this is a Seth Rogen thing. Okay, cool. Which is nice. But I think TV. Oh, and we didn't even talk about X-Men '97, which like, wow.
Was that this year?
So
Fire. Was that this year?
yeah. I was like literally in my
That was
hotel
a
room in Phoenix, like watching the
Oh,
episodes on Disney.
wow.
Yeah, so X-Men, and we're getting that next year, right? Like I think we're getting that. We're getting the next season next year. So yeah,
Oh, yeah,
TV was amazing
about
this year.
that. It's so interesting, right? Because bridging what you said and what Tisha. First of all, Tisha, I got a couple issues with what you said. We We're not like what the fuck to Penguin. That's not me. This is what we watch, but I'm gonna divide myself from y'all. This is what y'all watch, and this is what I watch. I was very excited when the Penguin came out. I knew we was gonna cook, and the reason why I knew was because I have always only liked Batman because of his villains. Number one, and the Batman, the last one that caused so much controversy with its quote unquote such a long runtime and all that stuff. A runtime conversation might be an entire what we watch chat because y'all don't know ball at all. Y'all don't listen. Y'all don't pay attention. You guys just say things and you regurgitate. Y'all be watching 3 hour movies for your entire lives. It's just whether you like it or you don't. Anyways, this was great. It had the most horror elements, which I'm obsessed with psychological thrillers and horrors. Paul Dano fucking cooked. Robert Pattinson cooked. Jeffrey Wright cooked. I mean, it was amazing. So I knew coming off of the Batman for the Penguin in that world, I was like, oh, we finna cook. So I'm not a we on that either. I'm also not we were too hard on Game of Thrones. No, we are
You
House of the
specifically were
Dragon.
too hard on
No,
House of the Dragon.
we were not. We were perfectly hard paused that on everything. We were perfectly hard. It was the right amount of hardness given to House of the Dragon. All right? House of the Dragon, season one was very, 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 very good. Season two, we made a couple of decisions. What did I tell you today? How can you simultaneously say that you could have gotten a couple more episodes and then you hear us accurately criticize the Harrenhal scenes? Imagine taking away 5 of the 37 Harrenhal scenes and making it valuable. Then we don't need 2 more episodes of.
I don't agree with your criticism of the Harrenhal scenes. I thought the Harrenhal scenes were good.
Oh, you gassing it. You gassing it. We were perfectly critical of it. And it's interesting because, Angela, to your point, it is the year of TV. But we got some of the most mid seasons of these fantastic shows that we've enjoyed over the last 1, 3, 5, 10 years, right? The Boys did not do so well. House of the Dragon season 2 is definitely not as good as House of the Dragon season 1. Tej, do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Albie.
Okay, it wasn't as good. Invincible, it definitely its weakest season, and I definitely had a great time. But simultaneously, we got the Penguin, we got X-Men '97, we got Shogun, we got all of this great television to talk about. So it's interesting that 2024 is the year of television, but like the season twosers, threesers, and foursers didn't cook at these shows. Also,
Hey,
The
don't
Bear.
forget we got Squid Game too, which I haven't started watching yet. But
I'm
I'm
not
here.
here.
I'm so strangely I'm seeing that people are enjoying it. I thought it would be garbage. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. There's a couple. Can we talk about it? There are a couple TV shows.
Oh, Mo, can I just say
Yeah,
one more thing? I completely
absolutely.
forgot. I'm so sorry. Bookie. Okay. I told Teach to watch it. I don't think Teach watched it. The Bookie on HBO or
No, I haven't
Max
watched it, but it's on my list.
is is so fucking funny. Like it's
Who's in it?
hilarious.
Who's?
Um
Do you know the
I
showrunner?
don't so I don't even like know like it's like an Italian comic.
I'm in. You don't need to say anything more. That's my
Yeah,
cold.
but like the
You're not tough.
co-star is like a
I am.
former football player who went to BYU, and like his grandma makes fun of him cuz she's like, "Yeah, you were with those fucking Mormons in Utah." So I feel like the show was made for me as someone who went to BYU myself. So it's a great show. That and that's
Okay.
another reason why TV
You
deserves a show.
BYU Italian made for me. It makes sense. Shout out to Luigi. Here's my thing. There's a couple of lies that y'all have told about television over the years. Teach, can we talk about it? Because I usually say that I'm not going to do this on What We Watch because I build communities, I bring us together. But also, we have to be honest. If I'm not building an honest brand and community for us, then why did y'all lie about Kaleidoscope? Was that the name of it? Kaleidoscope?
That wasn't
What?
even this year.
It doesn't matter. There's conversations that need to be had about television where when TJ says, "Oh, people are saying it's great," I get really cringe. I get really
They
uncomfortable.
lied about Silo too. They lied about shows this year too.
Hey, y'all lied about Silo, and it's okay. I'm gonna tell you a conversation we had about Silo. It was like y'all fell in love with the potential, and y'all held on to potential. It's probably how y'all date too. Y'all have these great perspectives on the people y'all dating, and you're like, I know this can be good because you showed me great things in the beginning, and then you hang on. And I had a friend that was like, Hey, how do you feel about Silo? I was like, it was great the first 2 to 3 episodes, and then it just immediately fell off. As soon as we got the judiciary, whatever the judicial, whatever the common situation, it didn't work, and it's okay to admit that it didn't work. Y'all lied about Kaleidoscope, y'all lied about Silo, and y'all also lied about Ted Lasso. That's neither here nor there. We're past that. Ted Lasso got all its undeserved awards, but I'm just saying, and I think it's great. I just think we need to work on these things, guys. I think y'all need to be very conscientious, and y'all need to consider what y'all are recommending. I take recommendations very seriously. What makes a TV show good? All right, because you can't say that like Silo's good and also Severance is good. These are two completely different conversations we're having. All right, same streaming app. Tej, am I cooking here? Help me out here now, because we done started a lot of shows, Tej, because they said it was good. Kaleidoscope did not work, guys. I love you, Giancarlo Esposito. Put you in everything. Kaleidoscope did not work. Madness with Coleman Domingo, that was pretty good. It was pretty okay. I
We
had
got
a
Lioness this year as well.
Lioness was not again. I'm not hearing y'all say that y'all enjoyed Lioness, but then y'all backdooring y'all saying y'all enjoyed Ted
I
Lasso as well.
I
It's
love
not
Lioness, by the way.
Lioness
Like
was perfect. This was truly
season
the
two,
year of television. Go ahead,
yeah,
Carl.
they I was saying they upgraded. Speaking of Lioness, like they upgraded just everything about that show, right? You know, we knew who the characters were going in. They did a good job establishing everybody's individual personalities first season, and then we got a little bit more of everybody's like nuances second season. Yeah,
Facts.
like
Think
give them all the Golden Globes. This is
I,
Zoe and that crew's Nicole Kidman. She's in 4 different shows this year
He's in 15.
alone.
I'm telling you, I told y'all this last two episodes. Nicole Kidman is cooking. She's cooking right now. She's been cooking ever since the pandemic. Like she's been cooking well before, obviously, because she's Nicole Kidman. But thank you. I can't believe I'd be remiss to not mention my like Lioness, a great time. Penguin, a great time. Shogun, a great time. Like what else? X-Men '97. Oh, I had the time of my life with that
Best
show.
writing for any animated or
Oh,
even some live action projects ever.
I had
So
the
sad.
time of my life. And you can ask Teach too. I was like low key kind of, I was like, all right, guys, what are we doing? I feel like those of you that are of a certain age bracket, y'all are the ones that like this. And then I was like, oh, nah, this is extremely good writing. Taylor Sheridan has been giving us fantastic television that is well known across a crazy amount of demographics for like 10, 15 years now. It's kind of insane, honestly. It's kind of insane to be at the top of your game for that long. He's like the LeBron and Beyonce of making television. We have to have these conversations. Tej, what were we gonna say?
No,
Okay.
that was it.
My top films I shared, and they're
Can I
not.
co-sign you real quick before you move on?
Please feel
On
free.
the Taylor Sheridan?
Yes.
Why does he have an entire Paramount Plus lot on lock?
There's no, but
I
there's nothing.
mean, and if you like Lioness, I feel like all these shows are in the same universe. Tulsa King, what's the one with Jeremy Renner?
Landman, mayor,
Landman.
mayor
Landman
of.
is you want some
Easttown,
nuance and
whatever.
suspense. Not even
Yep.
suspense, but you want a good like diving into the backwoods of people's like psyche, but on
Mhm.
like a street level. Landman is your show.
But
That's
I can't. But y'all gassed Silo, and it wasn't honest. Y'all weren't honest
No,
about.
we gonna watch Landman, and I need to tap into Yellowstone or whatever that thing is
Not
called.
watching Yellowstone. I
Yes,
have
you
my
are.
boundaries. No, I'm not. I have my boundaries. I am gonna. If one more person tells me to
This
watch The
same boundary made you watch The Wire late, so
I
we're getting
watched
rid of this boundary.
I
thank you
watched
for bringing that.
Yellowstone because it was Taylor Sheridan, and then that opened the door to all these other shows that he put out. Like I went
Oh,
back.
see, my entry to Taylor Sheridan was Lioness. Legitimately, I had. I have the strength of 1,000 horses. I was like, y'all are not going to have me watching this white man show for this long. It's not happening. And then I was like, dang. And then he put a black Latina at the front of his show. He knows he got me. He knew Monique wasn't watching, and he was like, I'm gonna get Monique to watch because I'm a Zoe Saldana fan to the death of me. I do not care. That is my girl, and you need to watch Emilia Perez. It was very good because Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana are like my favorite girls ever
You
on.
already saw Amelia Perez. I need to watch that.
Yes. So, also, thank you for bringing up The Wire. It is definitely the year of television for me. This is the year that I started The Wire. I have simultaneously hurt and severed a lot of my relation. Well, not severed, but harmed many of my relationships because they did not believe that I have one of the most powerful film and TV communities ever, and I have not watched The Wire. So I am on season 3, about to be on season 4. I'm having the time of my life. I think that it's actually y'all's fault that I haven't watched it earlier. Y'all should have talked about it more. That's just me. That's just how I feel about it. Diner in the chat, talk to us. What is, because I think we've already pretty much established that this is the year of TV. I mean, we are cooking with television to the point where we're building stars through TV that we're seeing in movies now. I mean, Kendall from Succession was been in a few movies well before Succession, but I mean they got my guy in everything. Kieran Culkin, they got my guy in everything now. All right, he's all over the box office. So talk to us, Diner, in the chat.
Um, well, as first of all, as someone who has watched and loved many of Tyler Sheridan's later shows,
Mm.
I've said before in the chat that I'm from Montana, or I live in Montana. Fuck Yellowstone. Everyone in Montana hates Yellowstone.
Okay,
Fuck
turn
that
that
show.
up.
Um,
Thank you, TJ. Pay attention. I'm not watching it. The people have spoken.
um, but trying to mention shows that people haven't mentioned yet. As a massive fantasy nerd, which I don't know if anyone else here is, when House of the Dragon season 2 and Rings of Power season 2 were on at the same time, and I got to watch both of them each week, I was in fucking heaven. Rings of Power season 2 was so much better than season 1. Like season 1 was
OMG.
not good. It was extremely disappointing, but season 2 is actually pretty good.
What made you come back after a terrible season? Because I'm a notorious, if you don't catch me in 3 episodes of television, I'm out. And I mean that. 3. There's too much
Yeah.
great TV out here.
Yeah. And the most recent
But what made you come back?
Sorry, that was me. I pressed. I didn't mean to. What made you come back to after season 1 was asked? Why'd you keep watching?
Yeah.
my friend,
What,
who's also a huge Lord of the Rings fan, just told me that the next season was a lot better. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it hooked me back in the first couple episodes. So,
hold on, and I want you to finish, but I have to ask this question now because I've literally never heard anyone say that. I've never heard anyone say the first season was terrible, but I came back. Have anyone else in the room, have you ever hated the first season of a show and come back to watch the second and get back on the train? Anyone?
Yeah, The Office.
Really?
What?
You know what? I honestly think a lot of first seasons, specifically for sitcoms, aren't that good. Because they're like still trying to find their footing. But I hate
Okay.
the first season of The Office.
Do you know? Do you
You
know?
hate Diversity Day?
You know what's interesting about Steve Carell? Um, y'all claim to. Do y'all like The Office because of Steve Carell? Let me ask that question first. Do y'all like The Office because of Steve Carell?
Partially, but I think it's just the timing of that show is just there's some all time funny shit in that show.
To me,
Steve
So
Carell is a
my
big part of it, but I think the whole cast is kind of perfect.
okay,
My
keep.
one of my favorite episodes of The Office is when he left. It's when Andy and I reference this all the time. It's when Andy finds out he's related to Michelle Obama and they have to explain to him why that's something he should not be proud of and he like still doesn't understand. It's like your family's rich. Like you shouldn't be proud that you're related to Michelle Obama and like they have to walk him through and like he calls his parents to be like, "Were we slave owners?" And they're like, "No, we just transported them." He's like, "See, we didn't own slaves. We just transported them." This is a great episode.
There was a sleeper TV show with Steve Carell in it, and it was so hilarious, and I felt insane. Part of why I created what we watch. I watched Space Force, and I guess I was the only person that watched that on Netflix. That show is so funny. It is way too funny.
Yes.
It's the office level funny, and it was me and Corlone that watched it. Okay, and
Yes. That was,
I don't. If y'all
hold on.
like Steve Carell, watch Space Force. It is so funny. The reason why I bring up Space Force 2, not only because it's funny, but because that show I gave like 5 episodes before I jumped off. But okay, I just wanted to see if anyone had ever. Thank you, Angela. Robert or MJ, have you ever like hated a season 1 of a show and went back to a season 2? That's crazy to me. You're not gonna be able to get me like that.
For me, I don't know if anyone else watched it. For me, it's The Vampire
Okay.
Diaries. It's a great show, but season 1 was terrible.
Interesting. And what makes y'all get onto a season 2? What makes you get on season?
I try to give things a second chance. Plus, like Ann said earlier, like I feel like season 1 of a show, that's where they find their footing.
But
So then,
I watch
yeah.
so much great TV and they be finding their footing, bro, in the first season. But go ahead, Diane.
Like I feel the same way about Degrassi. Like this first season was like
That is a
terrible.
fantastic example. Degrassi's first
Facts.
season, what are we doing? You never go back and watch it, because what are we doing?
The first episode was good, like of the first season, but the season one overall was
It
just like
got better. It
childish.
definitely got better. Yes, that's very true. And that is all shade. Shout out to Kendrick. Okay, anyways, go ahead, Diner in the chat.
The only other show I was going to say that someone people haven't mentioned yet was I thought the most recent season of Only Murders in the Building was fucking hilarious,
Shout out to my girl,
and
Selena
it was
Gomez.
a lot of inside Hollywood joke kind of things, which I don't think was for everyone per se, but I really liked it. So
Steve
I
Martin.
always like to keep a couple of more like basic shows on the back burner, and Only Murders in the Building is definitely that show for me. So
I need to
yeah.
tap in because I have not finished even the first season yet. But Steve Martin carried me with Pink Panther uh, when I was like 9 to like 11. And Pink Panther is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Beyonce's in it. Like, I have a lot of good taste. Thank you so much. But Steve Martin's a very, very, very funny man. And it's like him, Ben Stiller. Will Ferrell is such an interesting topic to me. I still think to this day he's hilarious, but some of the stuff he's executive producing now, which I shout out to him for putting money towards stuff, I'm not in love with all of it. And it's like he really had a high point where he's forever gonna be solidified with me. But I think that Steve Martin is great, so I definitely recommend Only Murders in the Building, which is on Hulu, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So watch that on Hulu. We got Severance coming up in 2025, guys. In a few weeks, we got Severance coming up. I watched the finale of Severance season one like I was watching Texas and the national championship. I'm not kidding. I was this close to the screen. I got this close to the screen, and I was like, no, oh my God, no, you're not doing this. Yelling at the screen, screaming like it was my college football team in the national championship. It was crazy. TV doesn't give you that feeling, right? And I think the last time I enjoyed a television show like that was years and years ago, like to where I'm like up on the screen. Like, nah, or like you leaning forward in your chair. You know that meme where you like lean forward in your chair? Like, that's Severance. And honestly, Tej, I don't know if we've talked about this, but I'm nervous about season two because you have a lot. Like, Severance season one is going to be hard to follow. I'm very nervous.
I'm nervous too, especially because we've been in production hell. But I watched the trailer they put out, and I'm already back in. I've my doubts are gone now. That I thought the trailer was so good. I thought it was so perfectly timed, and I think that we're gonna get some really good shit. With now the company knowing that they know everything and how that works, I think that's such a perfect angle to take in season two. And the trailer really made me not nervous anymore. But I was nervous before I saw it.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, and I see two hands up, Corlone and Angela. Please watch Severance. Let me just tell you the log line. Severance is about a group of people at some point in the future, and you sever you know how you guys just casually say personal and work life balance or your work life balance? It just severs who you are at work to who you are at home. And it is like you are two completely different people, but you're not because you're the same person. It's just like a thing in your head, and I won't spoil anything else. It is insane. It is so good. Ben Stiller, I cannot believe that I was watching you in Meet the Fockers 15 years ago, and now, or more than 15 years ago, and now you're producing TV at this high level. It is so incredible to watch people's journeys as artists. This is what we watch. Corlone, talk to us.
All right. So I was sitting here thinking, I was like, what's the show that I had to come back? I don't know if since we're talking Apple Plus,
Okay.
For All Mankind. First season, I was like, okay, this is a typical sci-fi situation. But
Hmm.
season two through I think season four we're on now, it's the writing,
They cooking?
the production, the character, like everybody, like particularly like how they leaned into the I can't remember her name, Danielle something. She was the black character. the black astronaut, first female black
Danielle
astronaut. She became like
Deadwater.
the captain. Yes,
Mhm.
that show took me on that journey that I look for in a good
Right.
grounded
And didn't
real
like the
world
beginning.
sci-fi.
Yeah, nah, I didn't like Ted Lasso, guys. I'm not going back. Y'all, whatever y'all say about Ted Lasso, I don't
It's
believe
not funny at all.
it's not
Yeah,
funny.
Ted Lasso, but like For All Mankind, that's the one. I was like, all right, I'll give season 2 a chance. Like, and from there on, I've been hooked ever since,
You-
waiting for the next one.
I appreciate that. I find it very fascinating that y'all can go back to a show because if you tell me a show is supposed to be funny and I'm not belly laughing, that's a problem. All right. Ted Lasso did not make me belly laugh. That was just a nice, normal, feel good show. That's something I would watch with my mom during the holidays. That is not a. That's not the movie. That's not the show that y'all said it was. I was just. This is. I'm
What do
just
you think about
Luke.
Loot with
I
Maya Rudolph?
I didn't watch that. Angela, I'm gonna let Angela speak. I see your hand up. Are you about to tell me another show that you
Yeah, I'm sorry because we really had some really good TV this year, and like
you did?
surprisingly, like I watched a lot of them were on Max, which makes me upset because I'm mad that they canceled Rap Shit still. Um,
Yes, it should be. That was a mistake.
but like, so the Bat, well, this wasn't on Max, but the Batman Cape Crusader was really good. It was on Prime. Um, Curb Your Enthusiasm ended, which still kind of makes me emotional. Leon lives my dream life.
Surprised that TJ didn't bring it up. Larry David is my birthday twin.
Like,
Thank you for loving us.
Archer also ended, but I feel like most people have been off of that since like season 5 or season 6.
Okay, I've
Yeah,
watched.
but they gave us like 5 or 6 amazing seasons. Archer will always be good in my.
I have watched so much Archer this year because I knew it was ending, and I did not watch that much of this season. I went back and watched my favorite seasons, like 3 through 6. Man, those seasons of TV are so rewatchable. They're so good. I fucking love Archer. I don't care what anyone says. Thank you for bringing that up. I think we should also talk about films for a little bit because I like this. I like this. The What We Watched is named this year the year of television. I will confidently say that I enjoyed the years 2022 and 2023 more for movies. MJ, I see your hand up. That being said, 2024 gave me some really interesting films. I shared it up top in the space. If you are a speaker, you can share tweets, so feel free. I gave a top four Founders Favorite Friday for Founders Favorite Friday. I love alliteration. Wicked, sobbed for an hour, maybe a few days after the movie. It ruined me. The Substance was so well done. You've never seen a movie like The Substance ever in your life, ever. Go watch it. Monkey Man, shout out. Was it Dev Patel? Is that his name? That's his name, right? I
Yeah,
think, yeah. Dev Patel, you are an icon. Thank you for your dedication to making that movie. Part of what's really cool about the news cycle and the way that we engage with art now is BTS. And I don't say that because I don't have like too many memory issues. Remember at one point we got DVDs and they gave us bloopers and the making of a movie and all kinds of stuff. Do y'all remember that? I'm showing my age. Do y'all remember when we got that with film? Do you remember when we got that? Like we got the bloopers at the end credits. We got the other hidden behind the scenes with all the movies on the DVD and the Blu-ray. We got that. And then for a long period of time, that just was not our engagement anymore. You had to like seek to find stuff. And now I think for marketing and because of the space the industry is in right now we're back to like interviews with the directors and the artists and the extras and all the BTS and the stories behind it. And I think Dev Patel's story behind making Monkey Man is very important. That is a highly culturally specific movie that can touch everybody of every demographic and every culture. And so I really, really enjoyed that we were able to get a movie to do that that did not center white people. I think it's very important. No shade to white people. And then, of course, no shade to white people because I also had Honora at the top. Honora was, I belly laughed. Honora was not pitched to me as a funny movie, and I belly laughed. That's why I have a problem with Ted Lasso. If it's going to be pitched as a funny thing, I should belly laugh. You know, I should be funny. It should make me like at least do a good deep diaphragm chuckle. So those are my top four And not like the top four of like there's not any other films that made it, but those really stuck out to me as very unique films that I've never seen anything like. And y'all know I consume and experience a lot of TV and film. Angela, from a film perspective, what was cooking for you this year before we wrap up?
I'm not. Uh, I would say, and I feel bad because I feel like I was traveling like specifically from like February to like August. I was traveling so
Don't
much.
feel guilty.
Um,
TJ has said the same thing to me. I travel way too much, so we don't
maybe
be. Hmm.
maybe Inside Out 2. I really
Oh,
really enjoyed Inside Out 2. I did not like the Deadpool movie. I'm sorry. Um,
it didn't hit like it should have. Oh God, lights going down
it just felt like, I don't know. It just felt like at like you watch the movie and it just feels like, okay, this is just Ryan Reynolds being who Ryan Reynolds is since Van Wilder. And like it bothers me that like he brought like you bring that energy to Wolverine, because I love Hugh Jackman, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna make a bunch of dick jokes and sexual innuendo jokes like the whole movie. I'm like, all right. And they
again.
wasted the Matthew McFadden. Like, he's too good of an actor to be doing shit like that. So
Fact.
yeah.
Fact. That was also a thing. I think to your point, Angela, I think what I've realized, and Tej, tell me how you feel about this. We have so much access now. It's kind of crazy. It's why people date the way they do as well, because we have so much access to everything. But in specifically like the market of film and TV and even music, we just have so many choices. Like there's something for everyone out there, right? And I think because of that, part of the criteria of being a great movie to me is the fact that I want to watch it again. And movies I watched in 2022 and 2023, I wanted to watch again. Close, phenomenal movie. Tar, phenomenal movie. Barbie, phenomenal movie. Those were movies that I was like, wow, I'll watch this over and over again. Fantastic, perfect, great film. You know, but a lot of times now, if you're not dying to watch it again, if you're not like, dang, if I can go home and watch this on my TV, if I can go to the theater again, is it a great movie or is it just good? And I think here at What We Watch, I want us to be very clear, not in like, because I don't rate films. If you notice, I do not rate films. I'm not giving it an A plus rating. I'm not giving it a 5 to 3. I'm not giving any star rating. I'm talking about like how it made you feel, how it brought your community together when you talk about other people, and like, do you want to watch it again, and did you like dedicate yourself to like enjoying one of the artists, the actors, or the director. That's how I engage and experience film and TV. And I think 2024 had a couple of good movies that I was like, dang, I want to watch this over and over, but it had a lot of what happened here. And a couple of them came from Neon. Tej, can we talk about it? Neon gave me my favorite movie. No, Parasite gave me Neon, right? Or Neon gave me Parasite, right? Or is that A24? No, that's Parasite was A24 Neon, correct?
I thought it was Neon, but maybe it is A25. I think it's Neon.
Talk to us about like these production companies and what they're pushing out, because marketing 2024 is also the year of marketing. People figured out these marketing PR firms and people and studios they're really putting in money into marketing, and they really know what we want. The algorithms are working, AI is working very well. They know how to get us, they know how to get butts in seats to get this money because they need to make this money. But Neon put out some BS. And Tej, can we talk about it? Can we talk about Long Legs and Cuckoo?
Listen, I will stand by the first 20 to 25 minutes of Long Legs. I'll put that against 20 minutes of anybody's movie released this year. But overall, it just doesn't work. And Cuckoo, we were both really excited about, and it was just a complete fucking mess. Like, it was just a
Y'all,
mess.
anybody else in the chat familiar with Cuckoo? And
We're the only people that saw this film. Nobody saw this film.
Neon gave, go look at Neon's catalog after we close this space out. Neon has given us a lot. Neon gave us all of the Pearl X Maxine movies as well. Um, Great, great movies.
And Loose.
Long Legs. Huh?
Loose. Did you see Loose?
I did see
Yeah.
Loose, and Loose was cool. Loose was cool. But I
I did
thought,
not like Lose.
yeah, it was all right. I didn't hate it. I liked Loose. It was cool. But Cuckoo and Long Legs, I saw like almost back to back, and I said, hey, Neon, you can't keep getting me like this. The last 45 minutes of a Neon movie is up in the air. And I'm sorry, I'm clocking all these production companies. You can clock me later with what we watch in my productions. That's fine. I've clocked A24 and I've clocked Neon.
I don't
I,
think A24 deserves this slander.
A24 is
Didn't
not.
A24 give us Honora?
No, I'm not slandering A24. I'm just saying I've clocked them. It's not a bad thing. I just clocked their production. I told you, they're always in a house. Everything they do is in one house. It's a house, and everything happens in the house. And that is their formula. Go watch any, TJ, we talked about this already. Watch any A24 movie. It's set in a house, around the house. Something happens in one of the rooms or the other room, or someone's breaking into the house, or someone's trying to get out of the house, or the house is a maze, or the house is haunted, or the house has a sneaky window. It's always a house. That's A24's bag. If you want to pitch to A24, make sure it all happens inside of a house. Secondly, the uh, Neon, I've clocked Neon about the 45 last minutes of a movie. It falls apart. I think Neon enjoys the last 45 minutes of a movie absolutely falling apart. What's that other movie? The Watchers, with Dakota Fanning and M. Night Shyamalan's daughter directing and screenwriting, and
Was
him.
that Neon 2?
I think so. I think that was Neon. And it's very obvious, and I think it's very hard to close a movie, very similar to how it is so difficult to close a TV show. But I think 2025 is going to be another great year for television. We got Severance. We got Invincible, or did it get kicked back? Also, this has been the year of delays. Like,
No, we have Invincible this
we have Invincible this year. Has been a lot of stuff that like was announced this year been delayed. Like Wicked was also delayed, right? Wicked was delayed. Wicked Part Two. The Batman 2 was
Worth
delayed.
it. Spider-Man, Spider-Verse 3 has been delayed.
Spider Verse 3 has been delayed. What Marvel movie has been? What
Blade.
other?
We're never getting Blade.
We're never getting Blade, bro.
Well, Blade got shelved. Yeah.
The industry is suffering, guys. So I'm just glad that we are all here at What We Watch to talk the holiday movie madness, to talk about how we felt about the 2024 TV shows and films that we watch. Thank you so much for taking some time out of the holidays to spend with us and the community. Make sure you tweet out anything. I check the hashtag and let me know what movies and TV shows I should watch. Right now, again, I'm focused on The Wire. Tej, close us out with one recommendation from 2024 that people need to see when they listen to the YouTube. Remember, everything you say is going on YouTube, and people are tapped in. So, what recommendation? Give me one good recommendation
I
for
love that you had Monkey Man. You had two of my top five on your top four.
period.
Monkey Man didn't make it, but I love Monkey Man. I'm gonna go with Sing Sing. Not a lot of people have seen Sing Sing because it was in limited release, but they're about to re-release Sing Sing because it's going to probably be nominated for Best Picture. So they're starting an Oscar campaign. Coleman Domingo is at the center of Sing Sing, and
Oh,
I'm not gonna tell you anything else about it. But it's heartfelt. It's one of those movies, kind of like a Nora, where if I told you the synopsis of the movie, you wouldn't think it would be funny, but it's actually really funny, really heartfelt, and the way that they kind of found the cast and found the people that they put in the center of the screen is just it's something I've kind of never seen before, and the way that the movie kind of never breaks its own rules, and it's just incredible. I just really enjoyed it. It's definitely going to be up for Best Picture, and it's one of those movies that a lot of people are going to hear about for the next couple of months, and I would greatly recommend it. And when the re-release comes, if it's in your city, definitely go check that out. That is some of the best filmmaking I saw this year.
nice. My recommendation to close out the space is definitely going to be a feminist, more so womanist kind of centered piece that is showed and packaged really. I say this nicely. It's a very, it's not a sloppy movie, but the scenes in there are very sloppy, gory, gruesome. They don't hold back any kind of disgustingness in that film. And I think I'm glad that in this day and age of cinema that that's somewhat preserved. And when it's directed by a woman, it hits different because Angela said something interesting a little earlier about Seth Rogen. Like, we don't have to have a sex scene all the time. And while I don't entirely agree with that, we don't have to. I just, if we do, we need to do it well. It needs to make sense and needs to add to the experience and not just be there because, oh yeah, heterosexuality exists or whatever, right? And The Substance is a very, very powerful movie. All men should watch it. Because you should watch things and pay attention to women. But I really think that every woman this year, especially heading into the climate, the political climate that we are heading into in 2025, in mid-January, I think it's very important that you watch The Substance. It is one of the most cool packaged. It's like when you're taking medicine and you like give it a good flavor, so people actually take the medicine because they don't really want to take the medicine because ew medicine. It's a movie like that it's like, oh, this is nicely flavored medicine, or this is like the shot with the chaser there, and they give you that. So I really enjoyed that film. That's my recommendation. Happy 2024. Happy New Year. Thank you so much. We will be back. New Year also falls on What We Watch Wednesday. So I'm just feeling really good about 2025, guys. Lots of great projects coming up, lots of great chats coming up. Let me know what you want to talk about next. But I will see you in 2025. Ciao.